From the subreddit UFOs. The Lazar Tape. 1991. 65 genetic alterations of humans. Container reference. Mysterious unknown return date of the aliens. Detailed element 115 antimatter reactor explained plus more. I've got my ready. Not the biggest believer in Bob personally, but hearing him make the containers reference in that old of a video is compelling because of how recently it's been brought up by others in the field. 1623 date. January 6, 2023. They're coming. I believe. The return date is around the year 2055. Never doubted that Bob was telling the truth. I can't believe all the stubborn and blind debunkers who are constantly attacking him. Sure, there may have been a few attempts to compromise his integrity, but that is to be expected when you're dealing with one of our lifetime's most important whistleblowers. In that case, a few fake records, documents don't prove anything. However, Bob's story can't be faked as easily, and TBH. He didn't have motive, other than maybe proving he had enormous balls the size of a football field. Smile. Thanks for posting this. Hopefully a few of the skeptics will be enlightened. S's, a video I cut together from the original Lazar tape directed by Bob Lazar and Gene Huff in 1991 containing all the juiciest details given by Bob. My personal opinion and feelings about Bob's story is that for me it sounds like a real truth nugget among all the ridiculous stories and claims around this topic. I've always used him as a way to reset and go back to baseline when feeling like I'm drowning in bullshit and woo. Enjoy. Containers of genetic code maybe? Such an interesting snip of information all this was. Ha ha ha, that was ridiculous pseudoscience. And some people actually believe him? Skeptics hate these videos. So the claim is he has never cashed in on his story. So what is this exactly? I could be wrong, but claiming someone has never sought to profit from a story right under a self-produced video of that story requires some background as to why the video itself isn't proof of attempts to profit. I like Lazar, he has a nice easygoing manner and he comes across as a techno nerd that you would like to have as a friend. Honestly, I couldn't give a crap if he is lying, it is a genuinely entertaining story at the very least. I believe what he is saying for the most part, but not his educational background. I think that was made up, but he is now stuck with it because if he owns up to it, it will crash and burn the rest of his story. The element 115 stuff is fascinating, and when they identify the right isotope things will get really interesting. He has been consistent since the late 80s, and his description of the craft just seems to ring true. Thanks for the video. Seems like a lot of work put in if he's lying. Lol, these threads are so dumb when all the Bob believers are left to their own. Everyone disagreeing gets downvoted and all the dumb Bob Lazar comments upvoted. Gullible. Radioactive decay does not produce antimatter. This is horse hockey. Bob Lazar went to community college. Good lord, let it go, the dude's been debunked over and over again. Lol. This guy isn't even a good liar. It just boggles my mind how naive people are that want to believe something so badly, they don't care if there's any evidence to back up his outrageous claims. YouTube him being sentenced for blackmailing people at a brothel. And getting sentenced to see a psychiatrist weekly. Or his master's degree from MIT that doesn't exist. Or the fact that he would have went missing a long time ago if he was telling any truth. From a guy who said he never monetized his story. Biggest load of bullshit, and if you want details why, you'll find it in my history. Fun story but absolutely fake. Not another Lazar post. Can we ban mention of Lazar from this sub already? Lazar is completely full of crap and has made $7 million selling you garbage. Pause, I want to say this. I'm not big on Bob Lazar, but the first thing I noticed was him describing tech that I've only seen in the news as of the past 20 years, a tuned tube, notice its cone shape. Similar to the M drive. Now the M drive was big news around 2018. It did not make the much waves, when it failed testing in 3 international papers in 2021. I wonder if it really failed? I don't believe Lazar is telling the truth, but I think he's a good storyteller. I wish he would just admit to lying and then use his creativity to write alien/UFO fiction. To all the people talking trash about Bob's t-shirts. If I end up tagging your mother, I am for sure going to sell t-shirts that say I'm not the father with your face on it. Agreed. I believe Bob's story. Because things he says are backed up by other pieces of info that pop up here and there. Nothing he said has been misproven. And the FBI wouldn't still be watching him if what he was saying was not of concern. He definitely has a compelling and interesting story to tell. Who knows? Drives me nuts how every known law and fact in this universe can be disputed and challenged when new evidence arises. Seems like nothing is permanent. Almost like whatever is in charge is having a good old laugh. Deleted. He said he didn't know what we were containers of. It has to be either DNA, which means we are like genetic storehouses, or the soul, which they might not even have. This might also explain abductions because they keep taking genetic and reproductive material. I keep hearing that they've reached the point where they can no longer procreate normally and might have to rely on cloning and hybridization.